Rahawanda pawb croeso I nôl. Good afternoon all and welcome back to Nick at Nova Adventures. But once again, this has turned into Nick Urban Explore Adventures. A big thank you goes out to Exploring with Erica. Go and look at her page on Facebook. Put a little bit of a screenshot of her Facebook page up along there somewhere, hopefully. And yeah, it's quite hard to find it. This one, not a lot of history to it, but as ever, we will endeavour to find out a little bit of history and add that to the vlog. And it is a part of a chapel, but it is closed. The building has a date, which you will see later on the gable end of 1928. Other than that, at the moment, we don't know. So I've parked about half a mile away on a country road, and it is stormy here in West Wales. Okay, so the next time you join me will be at the location. Hopefully we can still get in, and hopefully we won't get caught on this one. Because we got caught on the last one, but we did find a gem, didn't we? So hopefully that vlog will precede this vlog and you'll know what I mean. So anyway, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. There we are, coffee in the mug. And you might as well have a look at my friends while we're sitting here in Nova. So there is Gary the gnome, proudly wearing his Citroen badge with an owl. I love owls. And then sitting on the front seat, passenger seat, that is Bubbles the monkey, but in fact he is a sloth. And then up on the overcab of the Blingo, we've got some more furry friends up there that we've had since we've converted Nova into a micro camper. All right, enough talking from me. We are going to be walking half a mile up the road that way. Okay, we've walked a half a mile. Unfortunately, no drone footage today because it is very, very stormy, too windy, and looks like we're going to have a few rain showers. So we have walked from that way and we're walking down this way. We are near the property now, and when Erica sent this to me, she said it was open. There is a graveyard next door to it, which you can see, quite a substantial graveyard, but not many graves in that one at all. And that is the building that we've come to explore. There we are. As I said, on the little porch area, it has the date of 1928. We will get some photos. The chapel is down there. I'm not sure whether that chapel is still open, with a graveyard also, but we will go and have a look in the grounds after we've done this one. Okay, we better get off that road because there's a car coming, and through. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just do a quick walk around. That's what we'll do first. So we are now shielded out of that wind. And there we go. This is the view from the rear. As you can see, it is in a fair bad state of repair. Some old benches there by the looks of things, and some lovely growing fungi. Beauties. There we are, all in a row in the bottom of the graveyard. And as I said, there is the graveyard. Not too many graves in there. And we're walking into the wind now, so hopefully you can hear me. And we're just going to pop now into the building itself, and that's where you will join me next. All right, here we are then, just to prove we don't break in. And I said Erica did say this one was open. Just push the door. Wow, yes, she was right. Wow. Look at that. The building is not very big at all. And the road is just over there. But we have just walked into this one. There are on the floor, which we shall pick up because we don't like to see things on the floor. So just to put the stuff down, we've got the Nikon camera today, see if we can start to use that on these vlogs as well. And some nice period style lampshades. There you go, look at that, beautiful. and still in one piece. Then there's one just up there as well. Wow, there you go. And then we have a fireplace. So we've got benches in the middle. One of these is outside. I'll show you the organ in a minute, and there are some period style light switches if you like that sort of thing. And you can see there's what are that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And then it's almost like school benches, isn't it? Because you can turn them from a seat in that configuration into a bench. There's the mechanism under there, look. We'll have a close-up photo of that. And yes, indeed, that would have been a bench. Wow, they don't make them like that anymore, do they? So you obviously sit on them like that. Or, of course, when you're doing your Sunday school work, if I can get in there and show you a quick photo. There we are. And you do your readings and you work on the tabletop there. Lush. You don't see that. And you certainly don't see them intact like that, do you? Wow. Just seeing what you do. There we are. Look, you undo the wing nuts. And we'll probably have to do that on the other side quickly. Nope. There is only one. Hang on. There is, which is steadfast, is that thing you pull out there with a spring on it. Yes. I think that's how you do it. Let's see if we can loosen that any further. There we are. No. Oh, yes. There we go. You have to lift it up. That's how it sort of goes anyway. You can see if we pull it back a bit, just maybe we can get that to go as flat as it should, which I don't think. No, it's locked. Yes. Maybe that one should be like that then. So you've got to tilt. Let's sit on this one then, shall we? Oh, yes, that's how you do it. It's not laid flat, it's laid inclined like that. And then obviously you'd put your books, etc. on there. So walking up through the middle of these tables, we have the fireplace. Wow, they would have lit that and it would have been so warm in here, wouldn't it? Wow. And all we've got in there now is just twigs from the birds nesting, the crows nesting in the chimney. We'll have some close-up photos of them. And that clock stopped at 32 minutes past 12. Wow. Just a quick look down the other end of the building for you now. Relatively in good condition inside. You can see it has been replastered with lime. And it's been done also there and repainted a different pink, slightly different pink to what is below, or that might be just faded paint. We will show you the organ that you've probably spotted now coming into your view there. Right, we'll have a look at the organ in a minute. And then if you're into your old style plug sockets, there is one for you right there. Okay, we go into the vestry part of this schoolhouse. That's what we're going to call it. Sunday schoolhouse, I think. Right, okay, we saw on the floor, which we've picked up to hang on the back of the door so we can read that. So it is a Cardiganshire modulator by John Kerwen. There we go, there's John Kerwen, there's his name. Sheet number 7015. and that would have taught you how to sing, but that is amazing. I might just put that off the floor so it doesn't get too damp. And there we are, there's the address, look, London J. Cohen and Sons Limited, 24 Berners Street, W1, made in England, copyrighted, and the price was 6 shillings and 6 pence net cash. Wow. Wow, really does deserve to be hung up, that, doesn't it? I'm not sure if there's anything on the back of it. Let's have a look. I don't think there is. No, it's blank on the back. Right, let's pull that out. And to save that, we will put that on the bench just by there, look. Okay, so into the vestry is where we were heading. That sheet came from on the floor down there. But again, we have a fireplace. Nothing in the fireplace bar stuff from the chimney. And then we have a nice teapot, or terbot, as we say in Cymraeg, in Welsh. A door leading to the outside, and you can see just up there where the slates are missing and the wall is getting damp. And this magnificent pan, look at that. We will get the torch. Wow, amazing. Right, I'm going to stop this here, get the torch, and then put some light on the situation. Okay, we have some light, so there we are. Again, look at the patination in that bowl. Wow. And then on the floor here, look, we have an old light fitting. It's missing the fitting to the top, but it is in nearly one piece. And there is that teapot once again. And then we have a cupboard that has another teapot and an old cup there, look. There's no detail on that cup, and another cup just up there, look. And then we shall have a look in that cupboard, but we need to open the door just a little bit. And then on this table we have some literature. So we've got an annual report, South Wales Baptist College of Cardiff, for the year ending the 31st of May 1948, subscriptions and donations. So that's going back a fair few years, isn't it? Nearly, what, 80 years? And another piece of information going back to 1962, which would have had names and there we are, going back 1962, all in Welsh, of course, as we are in the middle of West Wales. And it looks like there are names there with the donations that they would have given in 1962. And then what else? We have these, and I think these relate back to donations. So it's got a year of 1966 on that one. Blaen-Wenen, number 17. And I think that is a donation envelope. And we have these gentlemen on a photo. Now, I'm not sure who they are, although it does say there you have James Thomas, you have Ben Jones, James Nicholas, J. Maddock Evans, Dewi Davis, T.J. Evans, and J. Can't quite read that, Culvent David, I think. Anyway, there we are, lovely. And then also in this there is a brown envelope, but there's nothing much in that, or there might be. There we are again, number 19. says Nanny Jones, Elved or Yved Villa. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So that's all on this table. Look, we have another one there, look. And we have a New Testament there, look. Again, probably all in Welsh. I would have thought so. Yeah, totally all in Welsh. And you can just see on the front, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it does say Testament Newydd, which is New Testament. Okay, so there are the envelopes made Pembroke cream laid envelopes, 3.5 inches by 6 inches, diamond flap. There we are. Wow. Right, I'm going to open that to see if there's anything in that envelope. So yeah, in that envelope we saw on the front was number 19, and they would have been given them in the envelopes, and then within the envelopes it would have contained, let me see if I can just put that up there and get some light on it. It's a bit hard. It would have contained the donation envelope going back to 1966. And that's what's contained in all these envelopes down here: 39, 36, number 40, number 18. And is there no envelopes left in that one? What else do we have here? Not sure what that is, but again, more literature to go with the history of this chapel and Sunday school building. Right, we need to put them back where we found them and continue with the rest of the vlog, which we hope to have a look in the bottom of that cupboard down there. So in this cupboard we have another light fitting, but that one is smashed at the back, and we have a old newspaper down there, look, going Western Mail, Monday, March the 8th, 1982, lining the bottom of the cupboard. We have some clothes in there, not sure quite what they are. And on the next shelf there is a external light fitting, and then a couple of bars of soap, and we've got this red liquid, not a clue what that is, and we're never going to taste it, are we? And then in the back there are a couple of tins of what looks to be paint. So not a lot in that cupboard. And that is really, I think, all. We'll put them back where we found them. There we are, put them back in there, look. That is really it. A very short one here. We won't be able to get any drone footage, as I said, because it is windy. Oh, the only thing we haven't shown you is the organ. You don't need the torch on for that. So as you look at the organ there, again in a sorry state, doesn't work of course, but you can see the level of craftsmanship as we come across. Look at the embossed in detail just by there, look. And there are carvings on the back of that. Wow. And this one was made by that company just by there. That is where that sheet is from, isn't it? Because if we go back to the sheet, same postcode, W1 in London, isn't it? And it's obviously made in England. And there's a quick, if you can see that, yeah, you can now, wow. And they might have been mass produced, but they would have been different in one way, shape or another. And then we go across to these, which would have altered the shape of the bellows. And some of these, unfortunately, they are coming apart, look. The white ones are just, you can see it doesn't work because they're all, you know, down and up, stuck. And then we go to the bottom of the organ, and you can see there That is the name of the company that made it across there, look. And you have the 2 pedals. Wow. And the only other thing we have, again, is another one of these envelopes, number 37. There you go. And then again, we have the same documentation as we had in the back there. And then this is again what we had in the back, wasn't it? And Nadolig, there we are, Nadolig 1964, so Christmas 1964. And then it's probably some sort of, again, it's all in Welsh, isn't it? So you've got J.H. Williams a Fabian, Crown Stores, Newydd y Dre, and then you've got Gibby, Street Coleg, which is College Street, 9 College Street in Llandysul, which is not too far away from where we are now. And then just some, probably a service, isn't it? And then at the back then we've got GM Evans and Son. Oh, hardware stores. Now, you remember that hardware stores? 14 Pendray Cardigan. Agents for Manus milking machines, Leicester pump and coolers. Wellpacks, one coat jelly paint. And what else do we have here? Then we have Ben Griffiths, Wenslow Cardigan, and obviously shoes. Wow. Ken Phillips, Gents Tailors and Outfitters, 2 Priory Street Cardigan, and they're no longer there, but I live in Cardigan, so I know exactly where that is. And telephone Cardigan 2159. Shows how old that is, because now you would have 612159. And then we have at the bottom J. Lewis for high-class groceries and provision. The lowest prices in quality, lies, truth, economy. Royal Stores Cardigan. Wow. They would have been like sponsors. And then on the back, I've worked in this place. What better place than the Cliff Hotel? Goobert-on-Sea Cardigan. There we are. For young people's diners, anniversaries, wedding receptions, etc. Beautiful surroundings, excellent food and service. Proprietor JC and PM Lois. There we are. Wow. Okay, that is about it. We won't get any drone footage. We are going to go and have a look at the chapel that's adjoining this. You will have some photos of everything that we've seen today, as you normally do. So from this little, what we're going to call a Sunday schoolhouse, unless we find something interesting in the chapel next door, you'll just have some photos at the end of this one. Okay, so we've walked away from the Sunday school building, as I call it, and walked down to this other chapel. Hopefully you can hear me. We can't get in this one, but it looks to be derelict. It's in a bad state of repair, especially the roof, but it does have modern day UPVC windows. We've been for a walk around, but we can't get in it, so we're not going to get in it. And there is a date up there of 1935, up at the top above of that door there. And there is a pre-date of that of 1838. So there we are. We can't get in that one, so we're not going to bother. We don't break into places. And there is the old graveyard coming into view now with some very, very old headstones. And coming into view is what we call the Sunday school building. Right, okay, hopefully you can hear me over this howling wind. We are going to walk the half-mile back to Nova now. And that is this one over and done with. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. You'll have some photos of the inside. There we are. We're just going to pan round as we walk away. Wow. Okay, so as I said, we are walking away back to Nova half a mile now. So if you want to do all the good things as previously said, like, subscribe, share, comment, etc, etc. Right, we have made it back to Nova without getting too windswept or too wet. Bit of drizzly rain, but it is that wind that is causing the problem, so no drone for this one. So there is Nova. She is a 2012 Citroen Berlingo, self-converted into a micro camper. If you jump on the channel and watch some previous vlogs, you'll see some stealth camping. She is absolutely dirty. Look at the state of her. Anyway, I'm just going to open the boot to show you what I've done quickly, and there she is in day mode. And we do have a bed in there as well, a full double bed. So we are going to go out on Saturday night just to stay somewhere overnight, because we've kind of lost our stealth camping or our micro camping mojo, and we just need to get it back. The weather's not looking good, so we're just going to get some chips, I think, down in Goodwick near Fishguard, hop into the car park opposite, and then we are going to stay there for the night. Right, okay, that is it. So as I said, if you'd like to do all the good things, like, share, subscribe, comment, etc, etc, it is gratefully appreciated. And even a simple like will help the algorithms of the channel. Right, from Nick at Nova Adventures, we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. So while you look at some external and internal photos, we have found some information on this one. Blaen-Wenen Chapel, as we went to at the end, was built by David Griffith, deacon, farm and a farmer in 1838, and it served small farms and small parishes of Llandysul, Llangwyn and Blaenporth. Records show that preaching existed on the site years prior to the chapel being constructed. He also constructed the farmhouse, which is adjoining to the chapel. Records show that the adjacent schoolhouse, the one we went into, was built in 1828, and the front porch was likely to have been added in 1928, as the date shows on that front elevation. The chapel was renovated in 1938, and it was still open in 1998 but has since closed. The chapel records show that there was only 60 members in 1851. So that is all the information we have found out on this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. As I said, if you'd like to do all the good things that don't cost you any money and only acquire a little bit of your time. On with the internal photos for you now.